The new Jiffy electric ice auger. 60 volt auger.
60 volt auger. That thing must rip.
Absolutely.
Evan and we got Matt. I'm out here end of the 2024-2025 ice fishing season, checking out some brand new stuff. We didn't talk about this up there. So you've got two different auger flights.
8 and a 10.
8 and a 10.
Yep.
Are you gonna make a 6 for it?
We likely will not make a 6 for it.
Okay. Is it just because it's so powerful?
It is wildly powerful.
Okay, I can't wait. This is fun.
6-inch would
It looks cool.
face plant you to the bottom of the lake.
Yeah,
So.
okay. All right. First time, let's try this puppy out. Woo! It's impressive, but I'm not gonna lie, it does feel like an Alpha Plus. It's not too much different. Maybe it's the ice. I don't know, we're gonna do another one. See what we get here. Okay, yeah, that one I was paying a little bit more attention to, and I think it's got more power, and I think it spins faster. Does it spin faster than the Alpha Plus? What is this one compared to like an Alpha Plus?
So that's a 10-inch.
Yep.
That one,
This felt like an 8-inch.
that's what I was going to say when you're saying. That's a 10-inch auger.
Okay, so yeah, okay.
We'll get to
Yep.
the 8-inch.
This felt like an 8-inch. All right, cool, cool.
Up to 3 inches per second of ice on the 10-inch.
Nice. This thing's awesome. Looks purpose built too. Metal, plastic. You got a little reverse here. I'm assuming you just hold it down while you go. Yep.
And that's a momentary, so the second
Safety.
you hit it, it'll go in reverse. The second you let go, it'll kick back to forward.
Oh,
So
really?
Instead of having to flip that trigger.
Oh, that is cool. Nice. You got a little spot here for your Allen key, your hex key there to be able to change out on the shaft, which we'll probably do here with the 8-inch. Maybe ask questions as you go, but like my questions in my head right now are like, how does this compare to probably the Alpha Plus? And then like what's unique? Obviously there's a lot of differences to it, but in terms of the flighting, the blades, these are chipper blades. Are these like half and half?
They're kind of hybrid.
Yeah. All right, tell me about it.
Let's pop this stem off quick.
All right, let's watch him as he does this. So he's grabbing that Allen key there.
So that's also your LED light down here.
Oh, okay.
Jiffy has a legacy of being, durable and tough. And that was kind of the design intent behind this auger. There's probably Model 30s out there older than any of us here still running on the ice. So we kind of wanted to bring that into the new age, into electric, but still remain Jiffy tough like it always was. So the first thing that we did was on this output shaft here, this is a oversized output shaft with a D flat machined into it. So it's actually D drive. And if you look into the auger stem, that is a much thicker stem.
Yeah.
So you're no longer driving on a bolt. You're driving both on that D shaft, and we did oversize this bolt to a larger bolt. So there should be no connection problems there. It should be snug and tight. Same general construction on the bit, right? This material is bomb-proof for us. And then the real fun thing we did here was on the blade side, on the working end. These are new blades for us. It's a hybrid of a shaver blade and a chipper blade. The data kind of shows that the shaver blade is more efficient and faster, especially when they're sharp. And then the chipper blade just gives you that resistance to dulling. I know we've had a lot of people talking about that, but we kind of combine them both into the best of both worlds. So you get that efficiency, you get that speed, you get that power.
So that's the 10-inch. 8-inch, I'm assuming, is exactly the same, just an 8-inch, right?
Yep.
For the flight?
Yep.
Cool.
It is a 60 volt auger, so it's a 60 volt 4 amp hour battery. You're looking at 240 watt hours, a little less than that. And the 8-inch will get you up to 2,800 inches of ice and 4 inches per second.
Wow.
The 10-inch will do 3 inches per second and up to 1,800 inches of ice. So kind of going back to that durability, extended stay stuff, we wanted you to be able to bring this out and not worry about charging the battery and not worrying about running out of power. If you're up on Lake of the Woods and there's 35 inches of ice, 36 inches of ice, this thing will power right through it. So
That's incredible.
this is like your 3/4 ton diesel if you were going to look at augers. That's kind of where this fills, is the powerhouse.
That was going to be the next question that I asked. My really early ice, like hole hop, is like the Pistol Bit 2.0. Then I personally moved to an E40 until I need an extension. Once I need an extension, I hop over to my Alpha Plus, and then that Alpha Plus takes me. Now I got to think about, like, at what point is it 2 extensions? You go up to the Jiffy, like.
Yeah, it fills a different space. You have that E40 that's the run and gun, and it's perfect for, I mean, it's good for everything, right? If that's the auger you have, it's great for everything. Then you have it's the lightest 40 volt. Then you have the most powerful 40 volt in the Alpha that we all know is phenomenal.
Yep.
And then when you need more, that's what this is for. This is just more powerful.
And so did Jiffy have an 80 volt previously? Or what did they have? Because they had like a crazy powerful one before.
They had the E6 Lightning and the Jiffy Rogue.
And was the Rogue 80 volt?
I think the Rogue was an 80 volt 2 amp hour, so it was 160 watt hours of power.
Yeah, so, yeah. Why this versus that?
So it has less to do with the battery on.
Okay.
So the Jiffy 80 volt battery, yes, it had 80 volt. So you had that power there, but it's the internals, right? It's your motor. It all comes down to the amount of windings in your motor, the diameter. It's a bigger motor. It's a more powerful motor. It's a really efficient setup. It's a workhorse.
So this thing's going for the title of what, fastest?
It'll be the fastest.
It's going for, I mean, most powerful, right?
Yep.
Most durable too, because of what you were talking about with the decoupling linkage thing that you got there, the bigger bolt that's in there. Obviously, I mean, I was looking at this earlier with the GoPro on my chest, but like, this is metal.
Yep.
Like this thing is purpose built to be durable, but it's probably not the lightest, I would imagine.
Nope, they're sitting right at 20 pounds. Both the 8 and 10 inch are right there. Just under for the 8 inch and just a hair over for the 10 inch.
Yeah, so not the lightest, but that's not why you're buying this, right?
Nope.
You're buying this because you got a lot of ice to go through.
Yep.
Now, is this unlocking the ability to do a 12 inch?
I don't want to misspeak here. I think you have to start flagging your holes, and right, it's a safety issue if you have kids, or my boot will go down that. So
got it.
This would definitely have the power to do it.
Yeah.
Just for safety, and you don't, I guess if you have a 40-inch lake trout coming up the hole, you just have to drill 2 holes next to each other. But
exactly. Yeah. I don't know when a person would need a 12-inch hole. I'm just trying to think of, like, how can this thing actually be the only thing that can do something?
One of our engineers took this up to Winnipeg last week in 48 inches of ice. And they're used to using gas augers up there because you need it. And everyone that touched this said, this is the perfect tool for this, right? You have all the power, you can just drill 48 inches of ice. Not to say other augers won't do that, but this is purpose built to just have the power to do whatever you need. An interesting thing we did on this was speed control. Torque has an inverse relationship to RPM. So as your RPM drops, your torque increases. It's the same thing on your truck where you get the most torque at low RPMs.
Yep.
This has enough power that we speed control it through the entire hole. So you won't feel a drop in RPM as you're moving through the hole, right? It'll stay at that set RPM. Minus you still have speed control so you can adjust it.
Because it's a variable throttle.
It is variable throttle, but if you're full throttle, it'll remain that same RPM. You don't get that RPM drop, you don't get that torque spike at the bottom.
Got it.
So it's a lot smoother cut.
And that's something unique about this that even the Alpha Plus doesn't have.
Yep, that's unique about this.
That's awesome.
And I think the wider handlebars help, because it is so powerful, the wider handlebars help you manage that torque. So it's actually a pretty pleasant auger to drill with for how much power it has. There's not much ice there.
Close up, kind of talking about it here. So we got the battery that attaches on the side of it.
Yep.
Right? In that it actually looks like a pretty Is it a slim okay, so like half of the battery's inside of the housing and the other half is sticking out. And we got a button on the battery. Sorry for the lighting, y'all. We got full battery, which is great. You got the 4 bars. You said there's LED lights on the bottom, which we'll look at once we're done here. We'll flip it over and then maybe take the auger off, and then we'll check out the lights here in a second. Got a locking mechanism here on the top. In and out, cool. And then is there, right now at launch, I assume no accessories like a USB port dock or anything like that for it?
So the one accessory that we'll have available for this is a 12-inch extension.
Okay,
So
cool.
there'll be extensions for it, kind of because that's the use case, right?
Yep.
If you need the power, you need some extensions. So that'll be available.
And those will be unique, right? Because I know some other augers you can actually interchange them, but given the bigger bolt and the way that
The D shaft.
the D shaft
Yeah.
is, this one's unique. Okay, let's get a look at the light. Is it just one light?
Yep, right there.
There it is. Awesome. So you've got your red button here. So this is the reverse I was pushing earlier. As he had said, you can have the throttle going. You can hold it down. It's gonna stop, go in reverse. You let go, it's gonna keep going, but it'll turn around and start going forward again. This is your safety, right?
Yep.
Right up top. And then here's your trigger, variable speed trigger. Awesome. Cool. Anything else on it you wanted to chat through or talk about?
One thing, I took this auger on a trip to Canada.
Okay.
Using the 10-inch flight. We weren't like hole hopping, it was nasty outside, like it was 20 below. The other thing you get with the 60 volts, and Evan could talk about this a little more, is it's slightly less resistant to being cold. Yeah. So like one thing I know people have talked about with the Alpha and the E40 is, well, don't let the battery get cold. Well,
Yeah.
definitely don't. But this one will be less sensitive to that. And the reason I say that is I used one of these batteries and like I didn't kill the battery all week. Yeah, so, like I said, we weren't running and gunning. It was super cold and nasty. We were on snowmobiles fishing for lake trout, but I've never like gone through an entire week of a fishing trip and not killed an auger battery.
Yeah.
So that was just my personal experience. I'm not like guaranteeing that for other people, but it was, the thing is definitely like the 3/4 ton truck in terms of capability. Yeah.
Most capacity for inches. You know, you get the most inches per ice out of it. Speed.
Yeah, I hope you loved the video. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. Until next time, take it easy.